ईशोय दयाल। ओम शांति शांति शांति। We'll all sing together Paramadayal, page 25. Paramadayal Prabhu Paramadayal, Ramakrishna Prabhu Paramadayal, Paramadayal Prabhu Paramadayal, Ramakrishna Prabhu Paramadayal, Paramakripal Page 55, we'll sing together Hara Hara Shankara Samba Sadashiva. Page 55. हर हर शंकर सांब सदा शिव देवा महेशा हर हर शंकर सांब सदा शिव देवा महेशा अरुमामये पोற்றிடும் सुंदर कलाधर परने उमेशा हर हर शंकर सांब सदा शिव देवा महेशा हर हर शंकर सांब सदा शिव देवा महेशा दयानाथ गुरु महादेव उन्हें पणिदे सर्वेशा दयानाथ गुरु महादेव उन्हें पणिदे सर्वेशा तिरुतांडव मारियतामरे कोय पदम अरुवा महेशा मोपुरं वेद्रिगणे ग्रिविरिकणे तोरुदाय महेशा मोहन रूप वसीकरणादिये करुणे प्रकाशा हर हर शंकर सांब सदा शिव देवा महेशा हर हर शंकर सांब सदा शिव देवा महेशा उमामये पोற்றிடும் सुंदर कलाधर परने उमेशा हर हर शंकर सांब सदा शिव देवा महेशा हर हर शंकर सांब सदा शिव देवा महेशा दयानाथ गुरु महादेव उन्हें पणिदे सर्वेशा दयानाथ गुरु महादेव उन्हें पणिदे सर्वेशा तिरुतांडव मारियतामरे कोय पदम अरुवा महेशा मोपुरं वेद्रिगणे ग्रिविरिकणे तोरुदाय महेशा मोहन रूप वसीकरणादिये करुणे प्रकाशा हर हर शंकर सांब सदा शिव देवा महेशा हर हर शंकर सांब सदा शिव देवा महेशा हर हर शंकर सांब सदा शिव देवा महेशा 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 ओम श्री रामकृष्ण भगवान की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। श्री अम्बे अम्बे मात की जय.
Om, page 83. Om Radhe Govind Gopala Jaya Govind Radhe Gopala
Radhe Govind Gopala Jaya Govind Radhe Gopala.
Radhe Govind Gopala Jaya Govind Radhe Gopala.
Radhe Govind Gopala Jaya Govind Radhe Gopala.
Govind Govind Gopala
Govind Govind Gopala.
Govind Govind Gopala
Govind Govind Gopala.
Hari Govind Govind Gopala
Hari Govind Govind Gopala.
Hari Govind Govind Gopala
Hari Govind Govind Gopala.
Radhe Govind Gopala Jaya Govind Radhe 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 Gopala.
Krishna Madhusudana Madhusudana Krishna
Krishna Madhusudana Madhusudana Krishna.
Krishna Madhusudana Madhusudana Krishna
Krishna Madhusudana Madhusudana Krishna.
Govind Govind Gopala
Hari Govind Govind Gopala.
Hari Govind Govind Gopala
Hari Govind Govind Gopala.
Radhe Govind Gopala Jaya Govind Radhe Gopala.
Radhe Govind Gopala Jaya Govind Radhe Gopala.
Govind Govind Gopala
Govind Govind Gopala.
Hari Govind Govind Gopala
Hari Govind Govind Gopala.
Radhe Govind Gopala Jaya Govind Radhe Gopala.
Radhe Govind Gopala Jaya Govind Radhe
मधुसूदना मधुसूदना कृष्णा
कृष्णा मधुसूदना मधुसूदना कृष्णा
कृष्णा मधुसूदना मधुसूदना कृष्णा
कृष्णा मधुसूदना मधुसूदना कृष्णा
गोविंद गोविंद गोपाला
हरि गोविंद गोविंद गोपाला
हरि गोविंद गोविंद गोपाला
हरि गोविंद गोविंद गोपाला
राधे गोविंद गोपाला जय गोविंद राधे गोपाला
राधे गोविंद गोपाला जय गोविंद राधे गोपाला
जय गोविंद राधे गोपाला
जय गोविंद राधे गोपाला
जय गोविंद राधे गोपाला
जय गोविंद राधे गोपाला
जय गोविंद राधे गोपाला
ॐ श्री राम कृष्ण भगवान की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय श्री अम्बे अम्बे मात की जय. On page 30. जीवन प्रभाते मर मेरा साते बोलो जय राम कृष्ण रे. जीवन प्रभाते मर मेरा साते बोलो जय राम कृष्ण रे. Krishna Re. जीवन प्रभाते मर मेरा साथे बोलो जय राम कृष्ण रे. जीवन प्रभाते मर मेरा साथे बोलो जय राम कृष्ण रे. 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 ओम श्री राम कृष्ण भगवान की जय. पवन सुत हनुमान की जय. श्री अम्बे अम्बे मात की जय.
Om Namo Narayanaya, dear sisters, brothers, and loving children. We welcome you to this morning satsang and are very happy to see you here on this very wonderful day, which is known as Father's Day. So we wish all fathers and I'm sure everyone a very, very happy Father's Day. It reminds me of what the Master says. Sri Ramakrishna says that the love that parents have for children is given by God. So that is a divine power. And today we have Mr. Dilip Hansji to speak to us on Sri Ramakrishna, the loving father. The little children can go to their classes. Thank you.
Om Aim Sarvadeva Devi Swarupaya Shri Ramakrishnaya Namaha. Revered Pravrajika Ishtaprana Mataji, sisters, brothers, and loving children, Om Namo Narayanaya. Okay, thank you. According to Sri Ramakrishna, there is only one Ram and he has 1,000 names. So there is only one Sri Ramakrishna and he has 8,000 names. In other words, Sri Ramakrishna is Sarva Deva Devi Swarupa, the personification of all gods and goddesses. Swami Vivekananda said, Sri Ramakrishna is the embodiment of infinite ideas. He is capable of development in infinite ways. Even if one can find a limit to the knowledge of Brahman, one cannot measure the unfathomable depths of the Master's mind. Today, being Father's Day, it is a nice opportunity to connect the relationship that our Master, Sri Ramakrishna, has with us. There are 6 roles that a father plays in the life of his family: encourager, protector, helper, teacher, provider, and friend. We shall spend some time looking at how Sri Ramakrishna fulfills these roles in our lives. Encourager. In the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, we find recorded a very important conversation between Master and his young disciple Hari, Swami Turiyananda. The question was, why is there so much of suffering in this world? As this is a serious question that concerns a subject affecting all of us very deeply, we naturally expect that Sri Ramakrishna would have a serious or even poignant reply. But on the contrary, his reply seems light-hearted. He said, This world is the Leela of God. It is like a game. In this game, there's joy and sorrow, virtue and vice, knowledge and ignorance, good and evil. The game cannot continue if sin and suffering are altogether eliminated from creation. In other words, after the practice of hard spiritual discipline, one or two have the vision of God through His grace and are liberated. Then the Divine Mother claps her hands in joy and exclaims, "Bravo! There they go." Protector. Suppose people speak ill behind your back. How should you behave? Sri Ramakrishna said, "You must hiss at the wicked people. You must frighten them, lest they should do you harm, but never inject your venom into them. One must not injure others." Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was in his room, seated in his usual place on the small platform besides his bed. It was Sunday, and the room was filled with a large number of devotees. Among them was a young college student, only 19 years of age, named Narendra, who later became the world-renowned Swami Vivekananda. Especially addressing Narendra, Sri Ramakrishna asked, "What do you say, Narendra? Worldly men will speak all manner of things against godly people, but they should act like an elephant. When the elephant passes through a public road, dogs run after and bark at him, but the elephant turns a deaf ear to their barking and goes on his way. Suppose, my boy, people should speak ill of you behind your back. What would you think of them?" Narendra: "I would look upon them as a lot of barking dogs." Sri Ramakrishna laughed and said, "No, do not go so far as that. You should love everyone. No one is a stranger. God dwells in all beings. Without Him, nothing can exist." What Sri Ramakrishna is saying is that we must set our boundaries with negative people and not let them walk all over us. But at the same time, we must avoid developing hatred against them. It is better to think of negative people as ignorant souls than to start hating them. Hating always lowers our own consciousness. Helper. Sri Ramakrishna's teachings are as profound as they are simple. Master teaches us how to live in the world with our minds centered on God. When his disciple M asked how we ought to live in the world, Sri Ramakrishna replied, "Do all your duties, but keep your mind on God. Live with all, wife, children, father and mother, and serve them. Treat them as if they were very dear to you, but know in your heart of hearts they do not belong to you. A maidservant in the house of a rich man performs all the household duties, but her thoughts are fixed on her own home in her village. She brings up her master's children as if they were her very own. She even speaks to them as my Rama or my Hari, but in her own mind she knows very well that they do not belong to her." This teaching of Sri Ramakrishna has several valuable implications for spiritual life. 1. Instead of being bound by family relations, we should look upon ourselves and our family as children of God under His care. 2. We cannot escape from our duties to our family or perform them carelessly, but must diligently fulfill them in a spirit of worship of God. 3. What Sri Ramakrishna calls unripe ego will be transformed into ripe ego. It will no longer be focused on family and possessions, but will be centered on God. 4. We will grow in detachment and equanimity and face the inevitable problems of life, offering the results to God. Such a detached mind presupposes a strong will, which helps us in our spiritual practice. Teacher. One of the sweetest, most tender, most encouraging things in this world is the gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Here, our Divine Father Sri Ramakrishna is seen pouring down his wisdom to us, his children, in a simple and most loving conversation that places us right in front of our Master whenever we open its pages. The greatness of the gospel is that this is the first time the spiritual teachings of a great master have been recorded with such precision and truthfulness. The conversations bring us an intimate picture of Master's eventful life from 1882 in March to April 1886. With vivid descriptions of the scenarios, the mood, the nature of people present, the song and the dance, the utterances of the Master in his native simplicity and rustic beauty have been brought out. When we read the Gospel, we feel that we are transported back to those times, to be at the places where Sri Ramakrishna lived, sang, danced, glowed in samadhi, traveled, visited, ate, and jovially interacted with his devotees, unleashing his childlike guilelessness and spontaneous humor. We meet his closest devotees who have become great spiritual giants and other prominent devotees of the Master. We are present with them, sitting in front of the Master, partaking of the prasad, singing, laughing, and dancing with divine ecstasy. This is indeed a unique experience. Provider. You know, as a father, what do we want for our child or our children? We want the best, right? We want better than we have or we've ever had. We want to be able to provide everything that they may ever need and even more than that. Sri Ramakrishna is that very Father to us. He has given us all that we need and so much more. Let's go look at our divine inheritance. We have a list. Unconditional love, to teach us how to love selflessly. 2. A family. The Sri Ramakrishna, Sri Sarada Devi, Swami Vivekananda family is a family like no other. 3. An all-powerful Divine Mother Sarada who will just mummy us unconditionally. 4. The Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, allowing us to live in holy company. 5. The teachings of Sri Ramakrishna that somehow seem to just help us at just the right time in our lives. 6. A secret promise that when we need him the most, Master and Mother will always be there for us. In fact, they have never left our hand. Friend. Who is a true friend? A true friend is someone who loves you unconditionally, with all your positive and negative dramas. Let's shine our eyes on Girish Babu. Girish Chandra Ghosh was a great devotee of Sri Ramakrishna. In spite of the well-known fact that Master's purity will not allow him to touch an impure person, still, Sri Ramakrishna made Girish feel his eternal love. Girish could hardly control himself when he was drunk, and one evening he was drinking heavily with his friends and talking about the Master. At around 11 p.m., Girish feels a strong urge to go and visit Sri Ramakrishna. So he went. With unfathomable compassion, Sri Ramakrishna set about to transform Girish. The intensity of Master's God intoxication was overwhelming. 2 hours passed in this way. Girish emerges sober from this extraordinary experience. After the passing of Sri Ramakrishna, Girish said, "I have never received so much of love from anyone. To me, Sri Ramakrishna is the Lord. He is God incarnate. A single utterance of his removed the doubts of a lifetime from my mind. Even now, if I see doubts begin to stir, I think of him. Immediately they vanish and do not rise again. I find that it is not difficult to obey him, to love him, and to worship him." Let's conclude. Sri Ramakrishna, the avatar of the modern age, is the incarnation of love. He is the living God, Satchitananda. According to Sri Ramakrishna, it is God alone who incarnates himself as man to teach people the ways of love and knowledge. Sri Ramakrishna saw God everywhere with such intense devotion that his body glowed with pure consciousness and his eyes shone with a spiritual luster, 2 infinite pools of compassion. He experienced the full joy of the source of endless bliss. Sister Nivedita calls it the solitary grandeur and freedom of the soul. May our love for our Divine Father enable us to progress in life. Hari Om Tat Sat.
Thank you very much, Dilip. We will all sing together the Hanuman Chalisa, page 234.
जय शिव शंकर जय शंकर भोले सब देवों में देव निराले जय बम बम भोले जय शिव शंकर जय शिव शंकर जय शंकर भोले सब देवों में देव निराले जय बम बम भोले श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रचा निज मन मुकुर सुधार वरनो रघुवर विमल यश जो दायक फलचार बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीश तिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुवेशा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केशा हाथ
भक्ष ध्वजा विराज कांधे मूंज जने हो साज शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियाहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जलावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्ष उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत सम भाई सहस बदन तुमरो यश गावे हस कहि श्रीपति कंचन गावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीषा नारद शारद सहित अहीशा यम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव कीना राम मिलाए राजपद दीना तुमरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भर सब जग जाना युग सहस्र योजन पर भानु लील्योताहि मधुर बल गानु प्रभु मोद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि सरलि लांघि जय रजनाहि दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम मनोग्रह तुम्हारे देते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिन पैसारे सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी शरण तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज समारो आपे तीनों लोक हाथ दे कापे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नाचे रोग हरे सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट से हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे आसु अमित जीवन फल पावे चारों युग प्रताप तुम्हारा है पर सिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे हर्ष सिद्धि नवनि के दाता असवर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुमरे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुमरे भजन राम को भावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुपति पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करे संकट हरे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलवीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करो गुरुदेव तिहारी जो जस बार पाठ कर कोई जो जनि बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पर हनुमान चालीसा होए सिद्धि साधी गौरीसा तुलसीदास सदा हरि तेरा कीजे नाथ हृदय महरेरा कवन तनय कर मंगल मूर्ति राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय श्री अम्बे अम्बे मात की जय।
Let us meditate for a few moments on the supreme power of the Lord seated in our hearts. O Sri Ramakrishna, absolute knowledge, devotion, and action manifested themselves in you. Wherever you lived, a stream of nectar flowed along with joy endless and bliss eternal. Gods in multitudes revealed themselves to you and thus entered your being. Sri Ram and Sri Krishna were manifested in your being. In the present Iron Age in Kali Yuga, there is none like you to guide us forward. Jai Shri Guru Maharaj Ki Jai, Mahamai Ki Jai, Swami Ji Maharaj Ki Jai, Ganga Mat Ki Jai, Mahavir Swami Ji Ki Jai, Sarva Rishi Muniyo Ki Jai, Parvati Patay Hara Hara Maha